50 blades of grass, getting all the dirt. Welcome to 50 Blades of Grass, April 2026. Well, good morning, John. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us. Let's
Morning, Jim.
let's get right into the program here. Well, the first question that has come up, and I know it's obvious to you and some of the golf members, but we have new exit poles that are at the end of the playing area. Maybe you can explain how and what procedure you'd like to have the golfers use those poles.
Pretty straightforward, Jim. Just drive between them. You don't have to actually exit if you have to exit the fairway earlier. That's not necessary to drive all the way down just to exit there. It's just more so if you're on an approach shot, we're
Okay.
just protecting that exit a little more because of the continuous traffic. So between the poles is good because we'll move them every 2 to 3 days.
Okay. Well, that's good. And also, just to remind the golfers, is that we do want to use the 90-degree rule, as John, you just said. After you hit your last shot and you're approaching the green, take a turn 90 degrees and get back on the car path. Simple.
That works.
Now, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell to get notified when new podcasts come out. So the second question was, I noticed in playing over the last month on hole number 8, there's a new out of bounds marker. Maybe you can explain a little bit about why that was put there.
Well, that was more so probably pace of play. I mean, that was a director from the director of golf. And probably at one time there was OB, but it wasn't really maintained to OB. So we'll be keeping that right side somewhat knocked down through the year.
Yes.
And just establish that. But most of it is just pace of play.
Okay. Yeah, I can see pace of play and also a lot safer because I know in our group that we play with, one of the fellows last year kind of took a tumble and went down. So it's dangerous to go up on that hill anyway.
It's pretty steep.
Yes. The next question is, I notice on hole 6, we've added new pathways or improved them, and they're different widths. Can you explain why that is?
That is primarily anticipating future replacement of the narrower path.
Okay.
That width accommodates pretty much most of obviously all carts, but also our maintenance equipment.
Okay.
And actually, it was to get back to a little more uniform look eventually when those parts of that path start to fail.
Okay.
A little more accommodating for everybody and a more uniform width throughout because the previous path was anywhere from just under 6 feet all the way to 8 feet and just kind of wobbled in and out.
Okay. Yeah, that was kind of my guess too, that we're planning for the future as we kind of replace that. Our next topic, we've talked about it before, the autonomous mowers and so on, and we're trying some out. What is the long range plan for autonomous mowers?
We have a limitation on the course of power on where to place those, but we do have plan in our capital equipment plan here is to get 2 of them to work off of the maintenance facility and possibly behind the clubhouse for the 18th and 9th Green Bank facility.
Okay. Now, I noticed when we played Richmond, they have, I think, 15 or 16 of them. And in many cases, the charging station is very close to where the irrigation control box is. Is there power to that, and can you use that?
We're not set up for that. This is a different system.
Okay.
You pretty much have to have clean power, uninterrupted,
Okay.
separate from the irrigation power.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next question deals with the shotgun starts. Occasionally, I should more frequently, we have a shotgun start, and that puts a different kind of a demand on your crew. What do you have to do to get prepared for that? And do you have to exclude certain activities, or what's the priority when there is a shotgun start?
Most of the shotguns are at 8:30.
Okay.
And for us, time is everything. So we mobilize a little bit differently. The mowers go out in different directions just to accommodate. We find out from the pro shop exactly where the shotgun, where the players are. If it's a full field or if it's a half field, we kind of direct if there's open windows, we kind of direct the staff to go in those open windows first and then, or excuse me, second, and take the other holes first.
Okay.
Everything pretty much gets done. We're really pressed for time. It's the double shotguns on the days, 8:30 shotgun, 1 o'clock shotgun. If one shotgun takes precedence over another, doesn't really leave us a lot of time for that second shotgun to do anything different on the golf course. Does it need another roll on the greens or something else we didn't mow? So, and when it is a Monday or a Wednesday or a Friday, typically a Wednesday or a Friday, those are our full mow days as well. So all the mowers will be out on those days. It's just a matter of, again, accommodating some practices we do. Do we need two rollers out there? Are we going to mow with a triplex mower on greens versus walkers on the greens? So it stretches us a little bit, but most of it does get done. The core setup gets done, mowing of the greens, bunkers, etc. It's the bigger mowers that may be moved out, and some of the intermediate mowers that may be moved out.
Okay. I noticed that on hole number three on the pond, the aerator has been out for quite a while. Is it for maintenance or what's the reason behind that?
Well, there's control issues there. We also found out that the pump motor itself on the aerator that has to be replaced, or the whole thing has to be replaced. It's
Okay.
been rebuilt before. It's part of our aging out of some of the infrastructure we have here.
Okay.
So that's the reason why.
Okay, good. And really, the final question is, it talks about after we have our shutdowns, we usually keep the course closed for traffic, at least driving on the course for at least 1 or 2 weeks. And one of the members that brought up to me and I kind of indicated, but basically he said, in the stage of the recovery process, there's a balance between driving on the course and replacing divots. Regardless of the rule, the reality is people don't always bring out sand to fill these divots. And are we buying any time or whatever by restricting it, or should we look at the divot replacement versus letting that new grass seed grow? Your comments. I know you have good reasons behind it, and I think that the golf membership needs to understand that.
Well, we're still out there doing in-house divot replacement. The crew goes out 1 to 2 times a week, and we just fan out and start doing divot repair on the fairways. Um, Bringing sand out with you is not that difficult, right?
Not that difficult, but sometimes players say, "Well, I'm gonna hit a 3 wood. I never take a divot," and you do.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, we kind of make up for that through, in-house efforts. We do have crews that go out, like I said, once or twice a week. Not all the fairways, but those heavily impacted fairways where the approach shots, you can see quite a bit more activity. But we try to address that and rotate that through the week with the crew doing the divot repair.
So, as it relates to shutting down driving on the course versus replacing divots, what's the rationale behind that?
Well, it's two different things. We're controlling compact surface compaction for one and replacing a divot, a play divot in another. So, it's not. I don't think there's a trade-off there. I
Okay.
mean,
Well, to me, it seems like what you're really trying to do is reduce the compaction, but also allow the new seed to germinate and
well,
grow
sure,
and give it an opportunity.
right. And as we have, and most members have seen, we have fairway mowers on there, but we do alter our traffic patterns constantly on the fairways. So, it, I mean, we do our fair share of surface compaction as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's saying that it's not continuous tracking in the same patterns most golf carts have.
Okay. Well, good, John. I just wanted to comment that I think the condition of the course after the shutdown has really come back and looking great. A lot of the golfers really appreciate what has been done. I noticed that we finally have cut the rough down so that you can get some good shots out of that. But really, it's a good recovery plan. Everything looks great. Want to compliment you again and the team for the work.
Great. Well, we appreciate that, Jim. Thank you.
Good enough. And thanks for your time, and catch you next month.
All right. Thanks, Jim.
Bye-bye. Now, don't forget to send me those questions. That makes this podcast go. So remember, send them to this email address right up here. Thanks again for your help. Or you can add your questions below in the comment field. And don't forget to give me some likes.